Continuing today the series of looking at the movement of, in particular, the shoulders and the arms. So, but just by way of a little warm-up really, please come towards the front edge of your chair. And as you all know by now, if you're tending to sit towards the back end of your sit bones and round the back, one way of really helping to address that is to bring the attention to the lower tummy and push that forward and down towards the pubic bone or the floor if you like, just to help keep the length in the spine. And then just check that your knees are above the heels, that they're not sort of dropping into the inside, and that also your heels are, as much as possible, bang underneath the knees as opposed to being tucked behind. And then please just have the hands resting on the thighs, and then bring your attention to your right knee and just begin to move the knee a little bit to the inside and a little bit to the outside. Now, you can begin to make the movement a little bit bigger, provided it's comfortable to do so, it's not causing you any discomfort. And as you all know by now, we're moving in the hip joint to move the knee, but also changing the contact underneath the foot. And then pause, bring the attention to the left knee, and I'm mirroring of course, and then begin to move the knee to the inside and to the outside. So you can allow, if it's comfortable, for the knee to go a little bit further, sensing how this is movement in the hip joint, but a consequence of that is the shift of pressure underneath the foot. And then pause, keep the hands on the thighs, and this time bring the attention to the right foot and lift the inside edge of the foot and then the outside edge of the foot. So you're just shifting the pressure from one side of the foot to the other, but by keeping the knee more or less still in space, it becomes a movement more in the ankle and the lower leg, although certainly you're perhaps feeling there's an echo of something happening in the hip joint. Okay. And now pause, bring your attention to the left foot, and then begin to lift the big toe side of the foot and then the little toe side of the foot. It's always interesting to notice if there's a different range of motion or a different ease of the feeling of the movement in the one foot compared to the other. Good. And then pause, bring your right foot just slightly forward of the left, and then lift just the toes and then put them down. So you're just lifting the 5 toes and then putting them down, lifting the 5 toes, putting them down, and then lift the toes, follow that with the ball of the foot, but keeping the heel down, put the ball of the foot down, and then the toes. So toes, ball of the foot, putting the ball of the foot down, and then the toes, and then once more toes, ball of the foot coming away from the floor, ball of the foot down first, and then the toes, and then pause and change feet. So as your left foot is just slightly in front of the right, and then lift the toes and then just put them down. So toes first and down. Because we wear shoes so much, the feet just become kind of this block that we walk on the end of the lower leg, and it's good to differentiate these movements of the toes from the ball of the foot. And now lift the toes, follow that with the ball of the foot coming away from the floor, put the ball of the foot down, and then the toes. So once more toes, ball of the foot coming away from the floor, ball of the foot down, and then the toes. Good. And then leave that alone, bring the attention to the right foot, and this time just try to curl the 5 toes even under, and then release. And as you release, think of them lengthening away from you. So you curl the toes under, think of lengthening them and spreading them apart as you release. Once more curling under, and then think of spreading them apart. And then bring the attention to the left foot, and begin to curl the left toes under and release. So left toes under, and you can feel how the whole of the sole of the foot is just sort of shortening as we're working some of the intrinsic muscles that support the arch of the foot, and then release. And then once more curl the left toes under and release. And now curl the right toes under, release, left toes under, release, right toes under, release, left toes under, release. And now bring the right foot just slightly forward again of the left, and then lift the front of the foot, and then begin to make some circles with the big toe. And of course it's not just the big toe that's involved in these circles. If you can allow the knee just to be super soft, it's the movement ripples through the leg, from the knee all the way into the hip joint, and then just reverse these circles. If you ever do, we do go back to flying, it's such a great thing to do in your airplane seat, amongst other of these exercises, just to get the calf muscles pumping blood. And now pause, and now think of the little toe side of the foot, just making these circles in space, and then just reverse the direction of those circles with the little toe. Good. And now pause, bring the left foot slightly forward of the right, lift the front of the foot, and now with the big toe directing the movement really, begin to make these large even circles with the big toe. And then just reverse the direction of the circles. Good. And now think of the little toe side of the foot leading the movement. Always amazes me how that just changes the whole sensation of the movement. And then just reverse the direction, still thinking of the little toe side of the foot leading the way. Good. Now pause, bring both feet again underneath the knees, bring your attention to your right hand, and begin just to slide the right hand down the lower leg, so letting the head go. And then just slide the hand down the outside of the leg, and then come back up, and then down the inside of the leg, and then come back up, and then down the outside of the back of the leg, and then come back up. Now pause. Now the left arm, just allow it to slide down. So just nice, easy movement, just caressing each side of the leg every time you go down, or a different side of the leg, keeping the hands super soft, the jaw nice and soft, and the breath nice and easy. And then pause. Let's turn this into a diagonal. So you bring the right hand onto the left knee, and then just begin to stroke down the lower leg to the front, to the outside. Some of you easily be able to reach the floor with the hand, but only if you can do that without strain. And then for me the last one is down the back of the leg, release. And now bring the left hand onto the right knee, and then begin again. So just nice, easy movements. Just feeling as although we're focusing on the hand going down the knee, can you feel how it changes the back and the ribs as we're just exploring the movement? Good. Now pause. Have the arms just long by your side, and then begin to bring both shoulders up towards the ears and allow them to release away from the ears. So you shrug the shoulders all the way up towards the ears, and then as you release them, maybe on an out breath, you think of getting taller through the crown of the head. So shoulders up towards the ears, let them fall away from the ears, and then just be careful as ever that you're not trying to do this by lifting the elbows first. What that will tend to do is bring the shoulders forward, and we're just trying to go straight up towards the ears and then let them release away from the ears. Now pause, and this time bring the shoulders up towards the ears, roll them forward and down, squeeze them together behind you, come up, forward and down, and squeeze them together behind you, come up, forward and down, squeeze them together behind you. And now reverse this, so you come forward, all the way up towards the ears, again trying not to substitute an elbow movement for the shoulders, so forward, up towards the ears, squeeze them together behind you, and then release. And now, so that's both shoulders going in the same direction. See if you can have one shoulder going up as the other goes down, and then the other shoulder coming up as the other goes down. And you can feel, as you're just doing this, how the ribs, if you're allowing them to, are just sort of playing a part in this movement of one shoulder going up and one shoulder going down. And now see if you can begin to circle them in opposite directions. So they're going in opposite directions to each other, opposite directions. Again, it's easy to try and do this from the elbows, but really exploring one shoulder circle in the opposite direction to the other, and then see if you can reverse the two circles. If you're allowing the chest to be soft, the breastbone to move, and feel how the whole of the chest is getting involved, and there's a shifting of weight from one sit bone to the other. Good. Now pause, bring the fingertips onto the shoulders, and then just try to circle the elbows together, and then as you take them wide, really think of drawing the shoulder blades together behind you to help open the chest. So elbows come together and the shoulders broaden away from the spine, and you draw the shoulder blades together as you take the elbows wide, and then just reverse these circles. So you're drawing the shoulder blades together as the elbows go wide, so deliberately drawing the shoulder blades together as the elbows go wide, and then just once more like this, squeezing the shoulder blades together and release. Now bring the palm of the right hand just to the back of the head and keep the elbow just slightly in front of you rather than trying to take it behind, and then think of just brushing the back of the head, and you're trying to touch the ceiling as you reach the arm out and to the side. So and then we'll switch hands. So you're just brushing the back of the head and you're trying to touch the ceiling. So in other words, to get that really to help you reach, there's a shift of weight, isn't there, over onto the left sit bone if you're allowing it to. So once again we're deploying our ability to side bend or move from our middle to support the movement of the arm. So hands super soft, just going to wherever you can comfortably can, and then just add looking at the hand as it tries to touch the ceiling. So you're looking up as you try and touch the ceiling, and once more looking up, that's it, to try and touch the ceiling, and then come back to centre. Now please bring the right hand to rest on the top of the head, and you remember this movement we often practice really helps to bring side bending online. So you think of the elbow moving to the hip to side bend over to the left, and then you come back to centre. So we're not tilting the elbow to the floor, the pathway is elbow to the hip, and then you come back. So you can feel the side bending, the curve of the spine over to the left. The head though tilts to the right. So if you think about it, that vertebrae at the base of the neck that often in many people gets sort of covered in sort of fatty tissue, very kind of immobile, that vertebrae is going to the left as the rest of the neck is tilting to the right. Good. Pause, just rest that hand down for a second. And then please bring your left hand onto the top of the head. Just keeping the hand super soft. So here my elbow is just slightly in front of me. I'm not trying to take it behind me. And you're thinking of growing up to meet the hand rather than the hand compressing you. And then begin to explore, bringing the elbow to the hip, and then you're coming back to centre. So you can think about those ribs in the armpit area really softening to help bend the ribs on the right left hand side, so that the whole of the spine is curving to the right, apart from the neck, so that the base of the neck is, that vertebrae is moving over to the right, but the head is tilting to the left, Good. Come back to centre. And then please just bring the right hand onto the top of the head. And then once more, think of the elbow coming to the hip. And then think of it going up and over to the left. So elbow to the right hip, and then up and over to the left. Okay, just bring your attention, as we do a few more of these, to that spot at the base of the neck, that vertebrae, how that is moving to the one side as the head is kind of falling to the other side or tilting to the other side. Good. Release. And then please bring your left hand onto the top of the head, and again think we're combining the two sides. So the elbow comes to the hip, and then you think of it going up and over to the right. And we can think of this less about moving the elbow, it's how we're changing our middle that is moving the elbow. The elbow is really just a passenger for how we're organising the way we shift our weight through the centre. Good. And then come back to centre. And then please, without the arms this time, bring the weight over onto the left sit bone. So the right buttock lifts, the ribs move to the left shoulder has gone to the left and slightly up. Come back to centre, and then think of side bending over to the right. That's it. So left buttock is lifted, the ribs have folded together on the left hand side, so the right side is long, and then come back to centre. And then once more, bring the weight over onto the left sit bone. So you're really kind of tall on that left sit bone, and see if you can stay there and breathe, and just begin again to make circles with the shoulders, so that they're going in opposite directions to each other. So you're just seeing, can you stay perched and breathe and balance on that left sit bone as the shoulders make opposite circles, and then just reverse the direction of those circles. Okay, nice, easy breathing, and then come back to centre. And then see, can you come over onto the right sit bone? So you're trying to get as tall as possible on that right sit bone. So we still have the ribs curving, bending, and then see, can you just make these opposite movements of the shoulder circles, staying perched on the one sit bone. Nice, easy breathing. And then just reverse the direction of these circles. hope your shoulders are feeling a bit looser as the chest gets involved. So mine are certainly warming up nicely, and then come back to centre. Now, one final kind of movement just to practice before proceeding with the lesson is to bring the fingertips to the forehead. And you remember, we think of a line from the outer shoulder to the outer hip. And think, can you bring the elbows slightly forward and up, so that we're arching the back evenly. Tummy is out, chest is lifted, and then you think of the elbows just coming a little bit towards the tummy as you round the back. So you push out the tummy to begin to take the elbows slightly forward and up as you're looking up, but trying as much as possible to respect the alignment of the outer shoulder to the outer hip. And then you think of the elbows just coming a little bit down towards the tummy so that you're rounding the back. And again, it's one of those kind of mind games really, that although you're being asked to move the elbows, which we are doing, they're being moved because of how we're organising the flexion, the curving and extension of the spine. Now, pause, bring just the right fingertips onto the forehead, and then just do a few of these movements again. You're thinking of the elbow going slightly forward and up, and then slightly down towards the tummy. Pushing out the tummy, think of the breastbone moving away from the pubic bone to take the elbow up, and then elbow down as you're rounding the back. So just having the single arm means that we're activating the right hand side of the back differently from the left one. And then just rest the hands, and then please bring the left fingertips onto the forehead. And again, just to explore this gentle extension and flexion. So we're looking for an even arching of the back. The effort is distributed throughout the whole of the spine, rather than it just being in a particular part, say just the neck, and then come back to centre. Now, let's just practice walking to the back of the chair. So you bring the weight onto the left sit bone, take your right knee back slightly, bring the weight onto two sit bones, transfer through side bending the weight onto the right sit bone, take your left knee back, come onto two sit bones, and then just continue the journey, this walking skill, through weight transference towards the back of the chair. And if you need to just rest, you can slump against the back of the chair if that feels as though it's going to give you a proper rest. And then begin to lengthen up and begin to walk, taking your time, so that you're transferring. We're using our sit bones as our legs effectively, our feet, to practice walking from our spinal engine to come forward. Good. Now, please have the arms down by your side, and then bring your arms to shoulder height. So not too high, not too low, just to shoulder height, and form soft fists with your hands. So just soft fists, as if you're holding a baby's hand. Good. And I'll just show that from the side. So my arms, in fact, are just slightly in front of me. I've not taken them behind me, just slightly in front of me. And then just rest the arms back down by the side. So this arm position, for many, the arms can begin to feel heavy, and one of the reasons for that is they'll try to lift the arms from the trapezius muscles, or these muscles here. They'll try and lift the arms, and it's really a sense that the arms are spreading out to the sides, as if you've got a person on either side and they're holding your arms up for you. Now form soft fists again, and then begin to roll your fists downwards and then roll them upwards. So it's if we're giving the thumbs down, get down, and then the thumbs up. And see, can you, rather than do this from the fists turning first, you're thinking of the shoulders rolling forward and looking down to bend the spine, and then you're thinking of extending the spine as you roll the shoulders back and look up. So you're looking down, remembering that line from the outer shoulder to the outer hip. So you're rounding the back to roll the fists down, and you think of rolling the fists up, but try to originate that movement in the shoulders as you look up. So just rolling the fists down as you're looking down, rounding the back. Think of pushing out the tummy, the chest lifting as you roll the shoulders back to turn the fists in the other direction, and then just rest the arms. Again, one of the things about sitting at desks and computers and they're always being forward is that the shoulders tend to get stuck, rolled forward, the chest shortened, and then when you try and move the arm, people get into difficulty because the shoulder is being kept forward and you're trying to do things with the arm when really the arm, as we all know, begins certainly in the shoulders and actually in the spine, and you can even think of it being in the tummy and in the feet. So once more, bring your arms up to shoulder height, and now see, can you change the pattern so that as you roll the shoulders and the fist down, you're looking up and extending the spine. As you roll the fists up, the shoulders back, you're bending the head down, bending the spine. So you're extending the spine as the shoulders and fists roll forward and down, and you're rounding the back as in the opposite direction. So just changing the pattern. So you're trying to look up as the fists roll down, looking up as the fists roll, looking down as the fists roll up. It's quite hard to do and talk at the same time. So just changing the pattern, and so you're just being super kind without power in the fists, seeing if you can change the pattern, and then just rest the arms back down by the side. Great lesson for challenging some of these holding patterns that we have in the neck and shoulder area, and I can't stress enough that again it's not with power, it's being kind and super soft, making sure you're breathing. Now please bring both arms up to shoulder height, and now begin to turn one fist or one arm down as the other turns up, and then alternate that. So one shoulder is rolling back as the other shoulder is rolling forward. Again, just try and to keep the fists soft so that the movement is coming from the center, from the shoulders, one arm rolling up and one arm rolling down. Good. And then just rest the arms back down by the side. So I can feel myself wanting to take the feet and knees wider to give me a bit more stability, and then take the arms back up to with your soft fists at shoulder height, and continue to do what we just did. One arm rolling down as the other rolls up. But you can imagine you're trying, if you're a fencer or you have a sword, you're trying to reach to touch, lengthening one arm away from you and then to the other direction. And you're turning the head from side to side, and not forgetting the shoulders and the chest. And I suspect nearly everybody is looking towards the arm that's lengthening away from you. The arm that's lengthening. They're looking towards the arm that's lengthening and the fist that's rolling up. Good. Pause, and then please take a rest. Now, if you have the space, of course, in your room, you're really trying to lengthen from one side. So, once more, bring the arms to shoulder height, and continue. So you're as if you're wringing out the arms towards, looking towards the lengthening arm, and then without disturbing the flow, could you begin to look towards the arm that's shortening? So we're just changing the pattern again, looking towards the arm that's shortening towards us. So really letting the shoulders originate the movement and then come back to centre. Just pause for a moment, interlace the hands, just wrestle the wrists around each other, keeping the hands super soft. And then pause, change the interlace, so it's the other interlace. That's it, just to kind of free any tension that may have crept into the wrist, and then come back to starting position. Now, bring the arms back up to shoulder height with your soft fist, and begin to turn the arms and the chest and the head and eyes to the right a few times, and then come back to centre. So just turning wherever you can comfortably go. So the left knee, I said to the right, didn't I? I was showing to the right and then back to centre. So that's it, to the right and back to centre. So the right knee moves back a little bit, the left knee forward, and then come back to centre. Just rest the arms. Just need to change my position. And then once more, bring the arms up to shoulder height, form your soft fists again, and turn to your comfortable right. Now, as you turn to the right, just be careful you're not doing this. That, in trying to get that right arm back, you're actually keeping the chest forward, but trying to take the arm behind. So it's the chest that's turning. And then wherever you get to, stay, and begin to roll both fists and arms down as you look down, and then both fists and arms up as you look up. So you're looking down, rounding the back, and extending the back as the fists roll up. So rolling the shoulders forward as the fists roll down, rolling the shoulders back as the fists roll up. Good. And then just pause, come back to centre, and take a rest. Okay, if you need to do a few of those alternating shoulder circles, I feel the need just to sort of relieve some of the muscles. And then once more, bring the arms to shoulder height, forming your super soft fist. once more, take the arms to your comfortable right. And now as the arms or fists are rolling up, you're looking down. And as the fists and arms are rolling down, you're looking up. So fists and arms rolling up as you're looking down, arms rolling down as you're looking up. So you're just changing the pattern of the movement of the head from the movement of the arms, and then leave that alone and come back to centre. We did a very similar lesson, lying down on the mat. It's a very classic, based on a very classic Feldenkrais exercise called lesson called rolling the fists. Please once more bring your arms to shoulder height. Turn again to your comfortable right. Good. And now begin to alternate. One arm fist rolling down as the other rolls forward, and then reverse. And you're turning the head and eyes, looking towards the fist, the arm that's rolling up. Again, feeling how it's the shoulders that are really very much involved in the turning of the arms. Good. Pause. Come back to centre. Just give the arms a rest. And then please again bring your arms with the soft fist, take them to the right, and now continue to alternate the movement of the arms, but look to the arm that's shortening towards you. So one arm is lengthening, but you're turning the head and eyes to look towards the arm that's shortening towards you, or the shoulder is sort of coming towards the chin. Good. And then release. And then once more, bring your soft fists into play, turn to your comfortable right, and then begin again to alternate the movement of the arm, but this time let the ear fall towards the arm that's lengthening. So the head is falling, not pulling it towards the arm that's lengthening. You're just allowing the head to, it doesn't have to touch, but as though the ear is falling to the arm that's lengthening. Good. And then release. So as you were doing that, what's happening again is that C7 vertebrae is moving to one side to support the movement of the head. One more variation to go to this side. So form again your soft fist, turn to your comfortable right, and now this time can you let the ear fall towards the arm that's shortening. Falling. So, and again, it's really you're letting the head fall rather than trying to pull it to the shoulder as we're alternating the movement of the arms. Great. And then just come and take a rest. So, and it's about the third time I've done this lesson this week, and when I first did it, I could hear a little bit of creaking going on in that area, but I love the sense of freedom it's giving now in the area of the shoulders and the neck. Please form your soft fists, once more arms out to the side, and then just begin to take the chest, the head and eyes a little bit to the left and back to centre. So just practicing, exploring your ability just to take the arms to the left and back to centre. Good. And then just rest. And then once more, bring the arms to shoulder height, forming your super soft fist. Take the arms to your comfortable left and stay there, and then begin to look down as you're rolling the fists and the arms down, looking up as you're rolling the fists back. So rolling the fists forward and down as you're looking down, looking up as you're rolling the shoulders and the fists down. So just letting the whole of the back get involved in the movement, the turning of the arms. Good. And then pause. Come back to centre, just take a rest. And then form again your soft fist. Take the arms again to your comfortable left. And now look down as the fists are rolling up. Look up as the fists are rolling down. Looking down as the fists are rolling up. Looking up as the fists are rolling down. So take your time to explore this. Looking up as the fists are rolling down. Looking down as the fists are rolling up. Good. And then leave that alone. Come and take a rest. And then once you've had the rest, again, just bring the arms up to shoulder height. Turn your arms to the comfortable left. And then begin to alternate, lengthening one arm and then the other as you're rolling the fist. So looking towards the arm that's lengthening away from you. Good. And then instead of looking, allow the ear to fall to the arm that's lengthening away from you. So you're letting the ear fall to the arm that's lengthening. Good. And then just rest. Great for if you're a racket player, swimmer, anything like that to these movements. So again, form the soft fist with your hands. Take the arms to your comfortable left again. Continue to alternate the movement of the arms. So one going up, one fist rolling up as the other goes down. And now allow the ear to fall towards the arm that's shortening you. So the movement of the ear, of the falling of the ear, is really happening as a consequence of that C7 vertebrae moving from side to side. Good. Pause. Just take a rest. Good. And then just have a little walk back towards the back edge of your chair. And then begin to just walk forward again. Now, interlace both hands and bring both hands behind the back of the head. So, and then think you're just rolling the back of the head to one side with the hands to look towards the one elbow, and then rolling the elbows to the other side to look towards the other elbow. So just you're using the hand position to turn the head and the nose, using the hands behind the back of the head. Good. And then turn your arms to the right and the chest to the right. Good. And then see, can you again use the hands to roll the head to look towards one elbow and then towards the other elbow. One elbow and then towards the other elbow. Good. Good. And then pause, come back to centre. And then once more, interlace the hands, and this time don't have the hands resting on the back of the head, but turn everything to the right, and then think of one elbow going up as the other goes down, and vice versa. So one elbow is going up as the other goes down, so just feeling the shift of weight to one sit bone and then the other, and then look to the elbow that's going up. Look to the elbow that's going up. Good. And then release. Good. Come back to centre. Isn't that a nice movement to do? And then once more, interlace the hands and bring them behind the back of the head. Turn, this time to the left, you'll turn to your left, and use the contact of the back of the hands to roll the nose, to look towards the one elbow and then the other. So just gently rolling the nose. We're using the hands, the movement of the elbows, to roll the nose towards one elbow and then the other. Good. And then pause, just take a rest. And then just changing your interlace to the less familiar interlace. Form again, this time, a halo with your arms. Take the halo towards your left, so the chest turns to the left. And then think of one elbow going down as the other goes up. Good. And look towards the elbow that's going up. Good. Looking towards the elbow that's going up, so you're allowing this shift of weight, and then begin to look towards the elbow that's going down. Looking to the elbow that's going down. Good. Good. And then release and come back to centre. Good. You can just try a few of those alternating shoulder circles, and then form again your soft fists. Arms to the side, and then just go back to that first exploration we did. You're rolling the shoulders forward, looking down, rolling the shoulders to turn the fists up. See if you're getting a much bigger range of motion now, of the arms turning away from each other as you integrate or involve the whole of the chest and the spine in the turning of the arms. Good. And then release. So again, just notice how your shoulders are feeling. Perhaps turn to look towards one side and then the other to see how that feels. And I'll end the lesson there. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a lot of work in the arms, but hopefully not too bad. Thank you very much.